Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you all. Tonight I will present to you something a little different. It is called The Succession of Nightmares, and I hope you will enjoy it. Nightmares. We all have them, at one point or another. Everything has a dark side. Our dreams were meant to be a place of jubilation, and to contain our most wonderful fantasies. To some, this is an award. We work our asses off all day long, and we come home to a nice cozy bed. Sleep by itself is a nice gift for our turmoils, but dreams make sleeping hard for us, because we don't want to wake up sometimes. And even then, there is a dark side. There is always a dark side. Nightmares have a certain way of creeping up on us when we don't want them to. It's almost like they know. Some may say that our nightmares are our own fault. Watching scary movies or reading scary stories can fuel our nightmares. But what if there are things out there that can control our dreams? What if there are beings that can purposely give us nightmares? What if these things are there to drive us insane, to the point where we want to sleep forever? Now is when I tell you about my nightmares. A couple of weeks ago, I started to get really into reading creepy stories. All humans have this certain need for excitement. You want to shut off the computer and finally get some sleep, but then it happens. You find a video that has a creepy description, perhaps a video about a ghost encounter or a video of aliens. That is how my nightmares started. My friend Zach has a YouTube account where he plays games and gives them commentary. You know, a Let's Play channel. But one day, he decided to do something different. He narrated a story off a website called Creepypasta.com. I've heard of this somewhere. I know I have. It's hard to surf the internet for so many years and not hear about something so popular. He told a story of a man called Slenderman. Now, I had obviously heard of this character. I've seen the Marble Hornets video. I've seen the fan art and the so-called pictures. The story is interesting, and it made me want to read more. So I did. Within a few days, I'd read all the popular stories that the website had to offer: Squidward's Suicide, Ben Drowned, Dead Bart, Jeff the Killer, the Tails Doll, Smile Dog, and all the Pokemon hacks. These stories, they give you a feeling of terror. You start to notice all the small things around you, all the creaks and moans. You look over your shoulder and think you see a shadow of some sort, but there's always nothing there. After some time, you finally get the courage to go to sleep, and then you start to understand the position you just put yourself in. I understood what I was doing to myself, but I didn't stop. I saw them all. I saw all the creatures from those stories in my dreams. I saw Smile Dog trying to make me spread the word. I saw Jeff telling me to go to sleep. Squidward stared at me with his bloodshot eyes. Jerking myself awake every time I encountered one of these freaks got old really fast. But then the nightmares began to get so much more real. No longer was I imagining the characters from the stories, but now my nightmares were taking their own shape, contorting themselves to make me more uncomfortable. One night I was laying soundly in my bed. It was almost like an out-of-body experience. You see, I had a bird's eye view of myself. It was as if I was laying on the ceiling. I was laying on top of the covers, and my eyes were closed. I must note that I was not breathing. No snoring, no indication of my stomach rising and lowering. In fact, I was utterly motionless. My room was pitch black, as it usually is when I fall asleep, but I could see myself perfectly. It's as if I had some type of night vision, but it wasn't all green like it usually is. Then my eyes shot wide open. It startled me a bit. I just stared up at the ceiling. It seemed as if he, whatever it was looking at me, like I was on the ceiling. A drop fell, and it struck my face. It was a ruby-colored drop of blood. Then another, and another, and another. The drops began to fall slowly, but then they picked up speed, similar to when rain begins to fall. The version of myself laying on my bed then smiled at me. The blood soaks his teeth and starts to drip into his eyes, but he did not blink or close his mouth. He simply let the blood fall onto him. Suddenly the view switched to me being on the ceiling. Now I was the one laying on the bed. On the ceiling was a bloody, mangled, wounded version of myself. My eyes were missing, my teeth were missing as well, but I still had the same smile. My hands and legs were pinned to the ceiling, almost as if I were being crucified. Then the view began to zoom into my face. Blood still fell and my vision was being distorted. I wanted to see what was going to happen, so I tried my best to see. The picture seemed to zoom into my face at an alarming rate, and then I spoke. I am your god now. I woke up, breathing fast and hard. I felt paralyzed, like I'd been struck. I felt liquid around me. Did I piss myself from fear? Or was it the blood? I jumped up and found out that I'd knocked over a cup of tea in my sleep, and I was laying in the pool of tea. Sometimes, when I have dreams, I feel as if the interactions of objects in the real world affect my dream. In one dream, I was being stabbed repeatedly in the arm, and I could actually feel it. I woke to my friend obnoxiously poking me in the arm with a pen. I thought that him poking me in the arm made the stabbing from the nightmare all the more real. Since dreams and nightmares are derived from our brains, we can experience things in our dreams that seem so real. When you eat something, you can taste it. This is because you remember how the object tasted. The dream made me not want to sleep anymore that night, so I didn't. But that wasn't the end. I had this same nightmare over and over for a few days, happening the same way each time. There wasn't anything I could do. I couldn't change the dream even if I wanted to. This nightmare scared me every single time. You'd think I would have gotten used to it, but I didn't. I began to think about ways that I could avoid my nightmare, and this was my first thought. I can't ever remember having a nightmare when I was napping during the day, so my first plan was to sleep during the day and stay up during the night. Hopefully, this would work. The first day, there was no nightmare. I was relieved. I thought that I had found the solution. I had no problem sleeping during the day, so I didn't sleep as much as it already was. Second day, my plan failed. The same nightmare happened again, but this time, there was no smiling from the body on the ceiling. Actually, there were no emotions at all. My head was missing. Blood fell more quickly this time, making the dream end faster. My body laying on the bed looked down, and my decapitated head was laying in my lap. And there, it was still smiling. I began to get angry. I just can't sleep anymore. So fine, I won't. I'll stay awake. Yes, that will work. I'll stay awake until I pass out from exhaustion. I won't encounter the nightmare unless I absolutely have to. But I wrote this story quite a while ago. Back when the nightmares first started. It's been about a week since I decided I wasn't going to sleep. I'm so tired, but I don't think I can stay awake anymore. My bed sounds so heavenly right now. I guess my plan didn't work how I thought it would. I'm going to bed now. I think I could stay up for a few more hours, but I don't want to. I want to see my smile. I want to see my bloody body hang from the ceiling. It sounds so interesting to me now. Oh, how that blood felt so refreshing, cascading on my face. I have a bottle of pills, extra strength, and I'm going to take them all with some alcohol. I don't feel like being awake anymore. I've been awake for so long that I realize now how horrifying it is. I'm seeing all those characters in real life. Makes me think I've gone completely insane. I know they won't be there in my dream. They've never been there before. So I'll sleep forever, so I can look and smile at my god for the rest of my days. So I'm going to swallow those pills as soon as I turn the camera off. And I'm going to have a quick drink. And then I'll be going to bed. So why not join me? He will be your god soon enough.